Exercise D is on forming questions. First of all, we need to know that when you have a question in Spanish, you have a question mark at the end. You're also going to have an upside down question mark at the beginning. If you have trouble making these, there are several ways you can do it easy. First of all, you could have just a lowercase c and on top put a lowercase I. The second most common is if you're trying to make the letter D, for example, just don't close it and put the dot above it. When we're looking at how to form a question, how we're translating it, first of all, you need to get rid of the do or the does. And you're going to put the verb where that was. Do or does as a helping verb does not exist in Spanish. So we start out, does Dr. Hester live here? We take the do or the does, and we're going to mark it out. When we do that, we're looking for the verb. The verb in the sentence is live. So we're going to take the live and we're going to put it in the place of the do or does. I will not count off for this. I'm sorry, I don't know why it's going out of, probably because my hands are moving, it goes out of focus. The here or an adverb is going to usually stay closer to the verb, but I personally won't count off for this. First of all, upside down question mark. Now we have the live, it goes first. So you could have vive. Now when you're talking about a person and they have a title before their name, if you were talking about them, not to them, then you need to have an L or la before. So here we would have vive el Dr. Hester aquí. Vive el Dr. Hester aquí. Or you could say vive aquí el Dr. Hester. If I'm talking to him, if I say Dr. Hester, do you live here? Then I don't need the L. I'm talking to him. Dr. Hester, vive usted aquí? Not a problem. Again, if this is complicated to you in my class, we won't count that off. One more for structure. First thing I need to do is get rid of the do or does. And then I take the verb and I put it in the place of the do or does. If there's a not, it's going to stay before the verb. When we look at the next page, continuing with exercise D, we have at the top of the page interrogative words, question words. So who, what, when, where, how. When you're doing this, you don't have to change the word order. First of all, let's do the first one. Who looks for my friends? I have a question mark at the end, so I start with a question mark. The word for who is going to be quién. Oh no, you say, how the heck do I conjugate that verb? Well, you are looking at who as a subject, so we look back at our subject pronoun chart. Everything on the left-hand side is singular. Everything on the right-hand side is plural. Who in this case, and there is actually a who plural, doesn't end in an S, it's singular. Who is not I, who is not you. If it's anything other than one of these, it has to go in the green box. So I'm here. You have who looks for. To look for is buscar. So when I am looking at my AR endings, I stay in the green box and it will end in an A. So you have quien busca. Hopefully, after doing the last exercise, you go, oh my goodness, There are people at the end of that sentence. What would happen if I put a slash mark? To look for is the whole verb, slash mark. Who looks for who or what? My friends. Are my friends people or pets? Yes. So you have a personal a there. ¿Quién busca a? Oh my goodness, look at this mean teacher. She threw right back in there possessive adjectives. So we look at my friends. My can be either me or mis. Friends is plural, so we need mis. And then amigos. ¿Quién busca a mis amigos? Okay, most of these are not going to need any word order change. When you get to this one and you have doesn't, you're just going to change that doesn't to a no. No word order change. But look at the next one, number 8. What do you need? You have a do in the sentence. Doesn't say don't or doesn't. If it's just that do and it's a helping verb, or if it were don't and it's a helping verb, then you got to get rid of it. Then, in this case, you need to change the word order. You have the need, it goes in its place. Moves to the verb. So, what? You want que. Now we're taking need, which is necesitar, no double consonants. You take off the AR, you make it match with you familiar. Que necesitas, because you are not in one of the bottom 2 boxes, you can drop the subject. You can never drop a subject here or here because there's more than one thing in those boxes. You can drop the subject up here. If I say necesito, I know it's I need. If I say necesitas, I know it's you need. There's no other option. But if I say necesita, I don't know which one it is. So I have to put in my subject. So we go back, que necesitas. You could do it just like that and leave it alone. Or, if you wanted to, you could say instead, que necesitas tú. In my opinion, you would normally say this if you just want to clarify, hey, what do you need? If there might be somebody else who's a possibility. So we go back down. Where does he study? Does is a helping verb. It's going to go away. On number 11, how should they live? You may or may not remember this from Spanish 1. You have should and you have live. That's 2 verbs. 2 verbs in a row means you conjugate the first one, you leave the second one alone. So, you start with the verb in the sentence. If you start with the verb stays together. You cannot divorce that verb. It has to stay together. So we would have how, como with an accent mark. Then should, and you can't separate them by anything. They've got to stay together. So the they's going to go over, the live will go first. So should, deber. My ending has to match they. So I go back. Purple, debing. First verb conjugated, second verb left alone. And then you cannot drop the ellos because the ellos is in the purple and there's more than one thing there. Too many options, can't drop it. And I am mixing from there on, so be careful. And that concludes doing questions.